the pain you ignore. You convince yourself it's nothing, that you're being too sensitive. But deep down, you know it's not okay. His words, his actions, the way they make you feel, they've been chipping away at you. Piece by piece. Every time you tell yourself, it's not that bad. He loves me. But love shouldn't feel like this. Love is not an excuse for pain. It starts small. A joke that stings. A comment that cuts deeper than it should. A dismissive look that makes you shrink inside. And every time you brush it off thinking, I'm overreacting. It's fine. But the pit in your stomach, the weight in your chest, it tells you otherwise. The truth whispers to you. This isn't okay. You stretch yourself thin, keeping the house running, the kids fed, and life moving forward. Yet, it's never enough. He blames you, dismisses you, makes you feel like you're failing. So let me ask you, when was the last time you felt truly seen? Truly respected? Truly valued? Because this is not love. The invisible scars. Not every wound is physical. Not every bruise is visible. The deepest scars often come from words and actions that seem small but cut deep. The subtle digs, the dismissive remarks, the gaslighting that makes you doubt your reality. These are not harmless. They're slow poison, eroding your confidence, your peace, your sense of self. You tell yourself it's not a big deal, that you're overreacting. But let's be clear, it is a big deal. These aren't minor annoyances or random outbursts. These are systematic behaviors designed to shift every burden onto you while taking none of the responsibility. Piece by piece, they chip away at you, leaving you questioning your worth. Does this sound familiar? The comments that sting. The actions that dismiss your feelings. The moments that make you feel invisible or too much. These are wounds, and they are tearing you apart. It's time to stop convincing yourself they're harmless, because they're not. The behaviors. 1. Dismissal of your feelings. Oh, not this again. You're too sensitive. Why do you always have to make a big deal out of nothing? These phrases are not just dismissive. They invalidate your emotions. They force you to question your reality. Over time, you stop expressing yourself because it feels easier to stay quiet than to fight for your voice. 2. Gaslighting your boundaries. She's just a friend. You're being crazy. Relax, it's just harmless flirting. When your discomfort is dismissed as paranoia, your boundaries are erased. Instead of feeling respected, you're left apologizing for simply wanting to be heard. This isn't about misunderstanding. It's a deliberate attack on your right to feel safe. 3. Turning jokes into insults. You're so dramatic. Lighten up. Wow, you're really going to eat that much? Look who suddenly thinks she's an expert. These aren't jokes. They're thinly veiled attacks designed to hurt you under the guise of humor. And every time you laugh at OFF, you let him get away with disrespect. This isn't about comedy, it's about cruelty. 4. Being overly friendly with your friends. She's like a sister to me. You're imagining things. This isn't about jealousy, it's about boundaries. When his actions make you feel sidelined in your own relationship, it's a power play designed to undermine your value. You should never feel like an outsider in your own life. 5. Making you the villain of his mood. What's wrong now? Can't you just be happy for once? Suddenly, every argument, every bad day, every frustration becomes your fault. His emotions become your responsibility, leaving you walking on eggshells, constantly trying to avoid upsetting him. But no matter what you do, it's never enough. 6. Belittling your dreams and successes. That's nice, but it's not like you're changing the world. Oh, you think that's hard? Try doing what I do. Instead of celebrating your victories, he shrinks them. Every milestone is downplayed, every accomplishment minimized, leaving you questioning your worth. This isn't humility, it's sabotage. 7. They waste your time like it means nothing. We have guests coming over in an hour. Didn't I tell you? You're suddenly scrambling to clean, prepare, and host, while he sits back as if it's not his responsibility. Your time isn't respected because to him, your priorities don't matter. 8. They undermine your work and responsibilities. I have a meeting. Don't let the kids disturb me. But when it's your meeting, when you need focus, chaos is acceptable. His job is treated as important, while yours is deemed optional. The double standard is suffocating. 9. They compare you to others. Why can't you cook like my mom? So-and-so's wife always keeps their house spotless. Every comparison is a cut to your self-esteem. You're held up to impossible standards, and no matter what you do, it's never enough. But ask yourself, what has he done to deserve more from you? 10. They criticize while contributing nothing. The house is a mess. Oh, it's messy? Maybe because you're the one picking up after everyone, while he sits scrolling through his phone, acting like it's your sole responsibility. He's quick to criticize, but slow to lift a finger. 11. They waste your money and blame you for it. Where does all the money go? He spends on gadgets, nights out, or unnecessary things, but when it's groceries, bills, or essentials, suddenly you're the problem. Your sacrifices are ignored while he paints himself as the victim. 12. They prioritize their comfort over everything else. He'll interrupt your day for something trivial, but if you disturb him while he's scrolling or watching TV, it's a crime. You tiptoe around his moods, careful not to upset him, while he tramples over yours without a second thought. Why this isn't okay? None of these behaviors are harmless. They're not just jokes, not misunderstandings, and definitely not normal. These are calculated patterns designed to shift every burden onto you while he takes none of the responsibility. And every time you excuse them, you teach yourself that you don't deserve better. But let me tell you, you do. How it erodes you. It makes you question your value. You start thinking you're bad at everything, bad at cooking, bad at cleaning, bad at parenting, bad at your job. But the truth is, you're not failing. He's making sure you never feel like you're succeeding. His words, his actions, they rewrite how you see yourself. They convince you that you are the problem. It robs you of joy when you're constantly criticized, constantly compared, constantly told you're not enough. Joy becomes impossible. Even the smallest accomplishments feel worthless. You stop dreaming, stop celebrating, stop asking for what you need. You dim your own light, afraid to upset him, until you stop believing you deserve happiness at all. It exhausts you to the core. You're doing everything, parenting, working, managing the household, but none of it is ever enough. The exhaustion you feel isn't normal. It's the weight of carrying someone else's responsibilities on top of your own, while being made to feel like it's still not good enough. It traps you in a cycle of guilt. He blames you for things that aren't your fault, and you believe it. You try harder, give more, fix everything, but no matter what you do, it's never enough. Because the problem isn't you, it's him. But every time you excuse his behavior, you send a message to him and to yourself that you don't matter as much. It silences you. The more you suppress your truth, the harder it becomes to recognize what you even want or need. Your silence becomes your prison. You lose your voice, telling yourself it's easier to stay quiet than to fight for your worth. It breeds resentment. The pain you try to ignore doesn't disappear, it festers. One day it will explode, or worse, leave you completely numb. The resentment builds, not because you're angry, but because you've spent so long being unheard, underrated, and undervalued. It destroys your self-esteem. You start questioning your worth, wondering if you're too sensitive or too much. Every dismissal, every dig, every belittling moment chips away at your confidence, your soul, your sense of self. When you forgive without addressing you give permission for it to continue. Every piece of this erosion is calculated, intentional, and designed to break you. But you are worth more. You deserve more. And it starts with you. Taking back control doesn't mean shouting louder or demanding change overnight. It means reclaiming your voice, your confidence, and your boundaries, step by step. Here's how to take action against every behavior that's been holding you down. Call out dismissive comments. When he says, "You're too sensitive," or "Why do you always make a big deal out of nothing?" Respond calmly but firmly. "This is important to me, and I need you to listen. I'm not overreacting. I'm expressing how I feel." Don't let him rewrite your reality. Your feelings are valid, and his discomfort doesn't make them less true. Enforce boundaries on flirting or jokes. When he brushes off your concerns about inappropriate behavior with, "Relax, she's just a friend," or "It was just a joke." Set clear boundaries. "This makes me uncomfortable, and I need you to respect that." Stand firm. Jokes shouldn't hurt. If they do, they're not funny, they're cruel. Remind him that respecting your boundaries is non-negotiable. Stop accepting comparisons. When he says, "Why can't you cook like my mom?" or "So-and-so's wife does it better," counter with, "I am not your mom or anyone else. I bring my own value, and comparing me to others is hurtful." Don't internalize the comparisons. Recognize them as his way of deflecting or undermining you. Redirect the blame. When he shifts responsibility onto you with comments like, "If you weren't so difficult, I wouldn't be upset," respond, "Your feelings are your responsibility, not mine. I won't take blame for things beyond my control." Refuse to carry guilt for his moods or failures. It's not your job to fix him. Speak up about your accomplishments. When he says, "That's nice, but it's not a big deal," or minimizes your success, assert your worth. "This matters to me, and I'm proud of what I've achieved." Celebrate your wins, even if he refuses to. Stop looking for validation where it's not being offered. Set boundaries around your time. When he wastes your time with last-minute demands like, "We have guests coming over in an hour," make it clear, "I need more notice for things like this. Next time, I expect better communication." Don't scramble to accommodate his lack of planning. Value your time and make it known that you won't tolerate disrespect. Demand equal effort at home. When he criticizes you for the house being messy while contributing nothing, respond directly. "If you have an issue with the mess, let's work together to fix it." Assign tasks and hold him accountable. If you want something done, you need to take responsibility too. Refuse to shoulder all the household burdens alone. Assert your work boundaries. When he undermines your job with actions like letting the kids disturb you during meetings, establish firm rules. "My work is just as important as yours, and I need uninterrupted time." Make it clear, if we're sharing responsibilities, we need to respect each other's time equally. Address money mismanagement. When he spends irresponsibly but blames you for financial strain, be transparent about expectations. "We need a clear budget, and we both need to stick to it." Monitor joint expenses and hold him accountable for unnecessary spending. Stand your ground. "I won't take the blame for finances I don't control." Protect your peace from his comfort. When he interrupts your work for trivial reasons or demands you tiptoe around his moods, set firm boundaries. "I need this time for myself, and I expect you to respect that." If he disrupts you while scrolling or relaxing, call it out. "If my focus isn't respected, then I'll expect the same consideration." Don't let his comfort take precedence over your mental or emotional well-being. Reclaim your voice. If he silences you, overrules you, or dismisses your needs, stand tall and speak up. "I have the right to express myself, and I won't apologize for having feelings or needs." Practice being direct and unapologetic. "This is what I need from this relationship, and it's not negotiable." Stop carrying the guilt. When you feel weighed down by everything he blames you for, remind yourself, "I am not responsible for his emotions, his actions, or his failures." Learn to let go of guilt that doesn't belong to you. Prioritize yourself. If he expects you to sacrifice your well-being for his comfort, flip the script. "My time and energy are valuable, and I will no longer give them away without respect." Start investing in yourself, your hobbies, your goals, your happiness. The more you prioritize your needs, the less power his demands will hold over you. Let me remind you of something you might have forgotten. You are more than enough. You always have been. The way he's made you feel, small, inadequate, invisible, isn't a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of his inability to value what he has. You've been holding it all together, carrying burdens that aren't yours to carry, sacrificing your time, your energy, your dreams, and your happiness, just to make everything work. And yet, it's never enough for him. But here's the truth. His inability to see your worth doesn't make you any less valuable. You are enough. Not because of what you do or how much you give, but because of who you are. The love, care, and effort you've poured into everything around you are proof of your strength, not your weakness. The problem isn't that you're not enough. It's that he's conditioned you to believe you're too much or too little when, in reality, you are perfectly whole. You don't need to shrink yourself to fit into his version of what's acceptable. You don't need to dim your light to make him feel brighter. You don't need to be quieter, smaller, or more accommodating just to earn basic respect. You are not too sensitive. You are not too demanding. You are a human being with feelings, needs, and dreams, and none of that is too much. Every time he dismisses you, it's not because you're unworthy, it's because he's afraid of the strength you carry. He's afraid to confront the truth that you bring to the table. But don't let his fear make you question your power. You are enough for the life you dream of. You are enough for the love you deserve. You are enough for the respect and recognition you've been denied. Stop believing the lies that tell you otherwise and start embracing the truth. You are more than enough. And it's time to live like it.